The poor man thinks about money all day. The rich man does not. And the truly wealthy man has forgotten money completely. Listen to me carefully. This forgetting is not ignorance. It is abundance. You have been told your whole life that you must remember, you must calculate, you must worry. But I say to you, when your inner state changes, money moves toward you naturally, without effort, without fear. In this moment, I want to take you on a journey. I will show you why chasing money creates poverty, and how becoming abundant inside changes your outer reality. You will understand the inner psychology of wealth, why fear blocks the flow, and how relaxation opens doors that effort cannot. But before we enter this temple of understanding, I invite you to make a small gesture of openness. If you are ready to receive this truth, if you are ready to stop the struggle, press the like button now. Let this simple act be your first signal to existence that you are awake and listening. And if you wish to walk this path of awareness with us, subscribe to our channel. Join this commune of seekers. Now come back to yourself. You have been trained to believe that money comes from effort, pressure, and sacrifice. Look at your life. You push yourself, you worry, you calculate, and still satisfaction remains far away. This frustration is not accidental, it is inevitable. Why? Because money avoids the tense mind. Wealth avoids the fearful heart. What I am sharing is powerful because it does not teach you how to grab more. It teaches you how to stop blocking what already wants to come. You see, the desire for money does not come from intelligence, it comes from insecurity. When you chase money, you are not really chasing wealth. You are running away from fear, fear of the future, fear of not being enough, fear of being unsupported by life. And life understands this language very clearly. The moment you chase, you declare to existence that you are lacking. You announce that something essential is missing inside you, and life always responds to your inner state, not to your words. If you feel this tension I am speaking of, if you have felt the exhaustion of the chase, I want you to go down to the comment section right now and write one word, trust. Write it as a declaration. I choose trust. Let this be your mantra for today. A fearful mind creates tension, and tension closes doors. It narrows your perception. It makes you blind to opportunities that are already present. You may work hard, yes, but your effort is poisoned by anxiety, and poisoned effort creates poisoned results. This is why the mind that chases is never satisfied. Even when money comes, the fear does not leave, it simply changes shape. You start worrying about losing what you have gained. You calculate, you protect, you cling, and slowly what you call wealth turns into another burden. Poverty is not only empty pockets, poverty is a tight inner fist. Think of a clenched fist. Nothing can be placed inside it. Only an open hand can receive. This is why poverty is psychological before it is financial. The outer condition is only a reflection. When fear is seen clearly, when chasing is understood deeply, a different possibility opens. Wealth has another source, and it is not outside you. It begins in the nervous system. It begins as ease. It begins as trust. It begins as a quiet feeling that life is friendly. When this feeling is present, money flows. When it is absent, money hesitates. Relaxation is a signal. It tells existence that you are not in danger. It tells life that you are open, receptive, available. If you wish to support the spreading of this message to help us bring this relaxation to more souls, you can use the Super Thanks button below. It is not a payment, it is an energy exchange. Or consider hitting the join button to become a closer part of this energy field. When you support the flow supports you. Now listen, tension sends the opposite message. It says you are afraid. It says you are defending. A relaxed person sees possibilities everywhere. A tense person walks past the same doors again and again without noticing. When you are rich inside, your perception widens, intelligence sharpens, timing improves, you speak differently, you move differently, you choose differently. The wealthy mind is not obsessed with results, it is absorbed in the process, and because it is absorbed, it performs better. Think of a flowering tree. It does not advertise, it does not beg the bees to come. It simply flowers, and the bees arrive on their own. Or think of a relaxed host who enjoys the guests instead of worrying about impressions. People stay longer, they return. This is the shift. You stop asking how to get money and start seeing how to become abundant. Once inner richness is understood, the question changes from getting to being. This next part changed everything for me, and it will change everything for you because it removes the last illusion. Money does not respond to effort, it responds to being. When your being reflects abundance, money recognizes you instantly. You no longer need to seek it. Seeking belongs to poverty. Magnetism belongs to richness. But how do we deepen this understanding? How do we truly integrate this silence into our noisy lives? I have spoken much on this, and words have been collected into books that can serve as maps for your journey. If you feel the call to go deeper, look at the books and resources linked in the description. They are there for those who are ready to read not just with their eyes but with their souls. Now let us go deeper into this mystery. Becoming money does not mean hoarding or thinking about numbers. It means living with generosity, not as a strategy but as a natural expression. A generous being feels full. That fullness changes the quality of your presence. People trust you more. Opportunities come closer. Trust opens unseen paths that fear cannot even imagine. A desperate mind rushes, it misses details, it chooses poorly. A present mind waits, it sees clearly, it moves at the right moment. Money follows value, not desperation. Wherever value is created, money moves naturally, silently, without announcement. Think of a fragrant flower. It does not search for noses, it releases its perfume, and the whole garden responds. This shift cannot happen through effort. Effort belongs to the old pattern. This shift happens through a change in how you live, how you walk, how you speak, how you trust. When you stop trying to get rich and start living richly, money loses its distance. What I am about to share may feel uncomfortable because it exposes something very deep in you. Struggle looks noble, effort looks respectable. Society worships the tired face, the tense body, the overworked mind. But life does not respond to struggle. Struggle is the language of fear. And fear, no matter how decorated, always blocks flow. Over effort narrows perception. When you push too hard, your vision becomes tunnel-like. You stop seeing the whole. You focus only on survival, on results, on control. In this narrowness, intelligence drops, creativity disappears. You may work more, but you see less. And when you see less, you choose poorly. An anxious mind makes anxious decisions. It rushes, it grabs, It accepts what is convenient instead of what is right. Many people fail not because they lack talent, but because fear forces them to move before clarity arrives. Relaxed people see opportunities others miss, not because they are smarter, but because their eyes are open. Life supports those who trust it. This is not belief, it is observation. Think of sleep. The more you try to sleep, the farther it goes. The moment you stop trying, sleep descends. Or think of swimming. When you fight the current, you exhaust yourself. When you float, the river carries you. Effort has its place in action, but when effort comes from fear, it poisons everything it touches. Wealth does not grow in poisoned soil. When effort drops, not laziness but tensionless action remains. From that action, a new way of living appears, because abundance is not an idea to be believed. It is a way of living. It is expressed in small actions, in ordinary moments, in how you breathe, how you speak, how you move through the day. Many people wait for money to arrive so they can finally relax, finally enjoy, finally feel rich. That waiting is the trap. Abundance must come first, or money will never stay. Gratitude is not a prayer, and it is not politeness. It is an inner climate. When gratitude is present, the inner weather changes. Complaining disappears. Comparison weakens. You stop measuring yourself against others. Life feels richer even before anything changes on the outside. And when the inside feels richer, existence responds almost immediately. Sharing multiplies energy. This is not charity. This is intelligence. When you share, you are telling life that you have enough. That message is powerful. It returns to you amplified. When you hold, you are telling life that you are afraid. Fear always shrinks what it touches. A generous being may have little, yet somehow life keeps supporting him. Enjoyment is a deep signal of trust. When you allow yourself to enjoy simple things without guilt, you show existence that you feel supported. This relaxation invites flow. Work done with enjoyment becomes creative. Work done with fear becomes exhausting. Presence turns even ordinary labor into art, because you are there fully, not chasing the future. Think of a musician lost in music. Money may come later, but first comes joy. Or a child playing without any goal. Energy moves freely. Or a traveler enjoying the journey instead of counting distance. The journey itself becomes richness. When abundance becomes your way of living, money loses power over you. And strangely, that is exactly when it starts coming more easily. Let me bring everything together slowly without adding anything new, because the truth does not need decoration. Money does not respond to need. It responds to overflow. Life does not listen to fear. It listens to trust. When you are tense, calculating, worried, life feels unsafe around you. When you are relaxed, joyful, at ease, life moves closer on its own. You have seen it all along. Even if you did not name it, the people who laugh easily attract support. The people who enjoy their work attract opportunity. The people who are not desperate somehow receive help at the right moment. This is not luck, this is alignment. When fear drops, intelligence sharpens. When intelligence sharpens, right action happens naturally. And when right action happens, money follows quietly without drama. The real poverty was never the lack of money. It was the belief that money would save you. The real richness is knowing that when you are rich inside, life takes care of the outside. When joy becomes natural, when gratitude becomes your climate, when sharing becomes effortless, money stops being a master and becomes a servant. Live with ease, live with joy, let go of fear disguised as effort. Stop pushing life and start cooperating with it. Become rich inside and trust existence to do the rest. You keep running after money, and that's exactly why it runs away from you. Money is shy. It doesn't follow the one who begs. It follows the one who is still. When you stop chasing, it starts coming. When you stop craving, it starts serving. People have misunderstood the whole game. They think money is attracted by hard work, by competition, by struggle. But the truth is, money comes to those who are at ease with life, to those who move with grace, not with greed. When your energy is relaxed, existence begins to serve you. I will show you how to stop fighting with money and start flowing with it. You will learn the secret that the masters of life have always known, that abundance is not something you earn, it is something you allow. I will show you why effort creates scarcity, why struggle blocks success, and how relaxation becomes the magnet for riches. When you understand this, wealth becomes play and life becomes effortless. You've been told that money comes through hard work, long hours, sacrifice. You've been taught that you must compete, hustle, prove yourself. And yet, the harder you try, the further it seems to go. You earn, but you never feel rich. You save, but you never feel secure. I understand this struggle. It's not just about money. It's about trust. You've forgotten how to let life take care of you. You think existence needs your push, but it only needs your permission. The real richness begins when you stop living from fear. When you relax into the flow, money, love, and opportunities begin to arrive on their own. You don't force them, you allow them. And so we explore the art of attracting wealth effortlessly, not through ambition, but through awareness. I show you why money follows joy, not anxiety. Why the more playful your spirit, the more abundance life gives you. You will understand that money is not material, it is energy. It responds to your inner frequency, not your outer labor. When you are calm, clear, and connected, abundance finds its way to you naturally. We will go deep into what real prosperity means. Not accumulation, but alignment. You will see that existence is infinitely rich and that poverty is only a misunderstanding of energy. By the end of this journey, you will know how to live in such a way that money becomes your servant, not your master. So listen closely, don't be in a hurry to apply what you hear, just listen. Because if you truly understand, if you absorb this deeply, you won't have to do anything to attract money. It will begin to come effortlessly, gracefully, because you will have remembered the secret that existence takes care of those who trust. Here is something most people completely miss. Your poverty has nothing to do with the lack of money. Poverty is not about what's in your pocket. It's about what's in your mind. You can be surrounded by gold and still live like a beggar. If your mind is constantly striving, constantly chasing, constantly afraid that it's not enough. The real poverty is effort. The endless effort to get somewhere, to become someone, to prove your worth. The poor man is not the one who has little. The poor man is the one who believes that more will make him whole. And so he runs not because he is poor, but because he is restless. Effort is born from fear. You're not working for joy. You're working out of anxiety. You're afraid that if you stop, you lose everything. So you push, You grind, you hustle, you compete, not because you love the game, but because you're terrified of falling behind. And that fear poisons your energy. It tightens your body, it hardens your mind, and it shuts the door on abundance. Because abundance doesn't come to the tense, it comes to the trusting. The man who trusts existence doesn't need to fight with life. He flows with it. The more relaxed you are, the more life opens its treasures to you. The whole world has been taught the same lie that hard work creates wealth. But have you seen how many people work from sunrise to sunset only to remain poor, exhausted, and empty? If hard work were the key, the laborer would be a millionaire. If struggle brought success, then misery should make you rich. But it doesn't. Hard work without awareness is just a more respectable form of slavery. You're running in circles faster and faster. Thinking speed will make the circle a straight line, but you only end up dizzy, tired, bitter, and still in the same place. Let me tell you a small story. There was once a man who lived by a great river. He was thirsty, but instead of drinking directly, he brought buckets and tried to scoop the water into his house. He spent his life running between the river and his doorstep, carrying the same water he could have simply bent down to drink. He called this work, but one day an old man came to him and laughed. "Why are you sweating so much?" he asked. "The river was never meant to be carried. It was meant to be entered. You see, life is that river. You were never meant to carry it. You were meant to flow with it. The more you scoop, the less you drink." The man who chases money is like the farmer who pulls on his plants to make them grow faster. He destroys what he desires most. You can't force abundance. It blooms naturally when you stop interfering. Money is energy, and energy responds to harmony. If your mind is in chaos, your life will reflect it. If your mind is relaxed, opportunities begin to appear without effort. Have you noticed how when you stop thinking about something, it suddenly falls into place? When you stop pushing doors open, that's not coincidence. That's the nature of energy. Effort is resistance. Relaxation is magnetism. You've been told to hustle harder, to do more, to compete, to grind. But competition is the mindset of the poor. It comes from the fear that there isn't enough for everyone. And this fear creates scarcity, not in the world, but in your vibration. The more you try to outdo others, the more you affirm that you are lacking. But when you trust that life is abundant, competition becomes meaningless. You start playing from joy, not fear. And paradoxically, that's when you begin to attract everything you once chased. You think money is attracted by effort, but it isn't. It's attracted by ease. It comes to those who are not desperate for it, to those who are in tune with their purpose, to those who work not for money but from passion. The universe is intelligent. It doesn't reward struggle. It rewards alignment. A man in harmony with himself becomes magnetic. He doesn't have to shout. He doesn't have to beg. He doesn't have to chase. Things begin to move toward him because his energy says, "I am complete." The one who feels incomplete keeps pushing everything away. Before we continue to the story from the East, I want to ask you, are you pushing or are you attracting? Take a moment, breathe. If this message is resonating with your soul, share this video with someone who is struggling, someone who needs to hear that they can put down their heavy buckets and drink from the river. There's a story from the East about a man who spent his life trying to become rich. He worked day and night, saving every coin, always afraid of losing what he had. When he finally grew old and died, people found a note beside his bed that said, "I am tired, I never lived." He had forgotten that his energy was the real currency. Every breath spent in worry was a coin wasted. Every moment of peace lost to striving was a piece of gold thrown away. He was rich in possessions, but poor in life. True wealth is not created by what you do. It's created by how you are. You can do less and attract more when your energy is aligned. You can speak less and influence more when your words come from silence. You can move less and accomplish more when your actions arise from awareness. This is the great paradox of life. The lazier you are in the ego, the richer you become in spirit. Laziness in this sense doesn't mean inaction. It means effortless action. It means letting the universe move through you rather than trying to push the universe yourself. Once you understand that effort is poverty, a beautiful realization dawns on you. You see that all your struggle was never necessary. Life was waiting to give you everything you asked for. You were just too busy asking. When you stop striving, you start receiving. When you stop running, life catches up to you. It was never about deserving. It was about allowing. The poor man believes he must earn every blessing. The rich man knows that blessings are already flowing. He only needs to open his hands. And you can only open your hands when you stop clutching. Imagine a monkey reaching into a jar to grab a handful of rice. His fist becomes trapped because he refuses to let go. That's humanity's story. You are trapped by your own grip. Let go and the whole world opens before you. So I tell you, stop trying so hard. You've done enough. You've struggled enough. Now learn to rest. Learn to trust. Money is not your enemy. Your effort is. Relax and watch how quickly existence begins to serve you. The moment you stop pushing against life, life rushes to meet you. And once you begin to see this, that abundance comes through allowance, not effort, a new question naturally arises within you. If not by striving, then how does wealth really come? This is what we must understand next. The energy of allowance, the secret rhythm that makes all abundance flow effortlessly toward you. This is where the transformation begins. But to travel this path further, we must go deeper into the nature of trust and the illusion of control. If you are ready to explore how to allow rather than force, simply type "continue" in the comments below. Your command will signal the next step in this journey. And remember, do not leave this space empty-handed. If you have not yet subscribed, do so now. If you have not yet declared your readiness by liking this video, do it. And if you wish to support the temple of this work, the join and super thanks buttons are there for you. Until the next moment, be still. What I am about to tell you may seem almost upside down to everything you have been taught, because you were raised in a world that glorifies struggle, that worships the hustler, that tells you to chase, to fight, to grind until your last breath. But existence does not work that way. It never has. Look around you. Nothing in nature struggles to become what it already is. The tree doesn't rush to grow. The flower doesn't strain to bloom. The river doesn't force itself to flow. They all exist in the effortless rhythm of allowance. They move, yes, but their movement is not resistance. It is surrender. That is the energy of abundance, the energy of money, the energy of life itself. Everything that grows, Everything that multiplies does so in trust. The soil trusts the seed trusts the rain trusts the cloud, and the cloud trusts the wind. There is no hurry, no anxiety, no bargaining. It's all a dance of faith. But man has forgotten how to dance. He has become an accountant of life, constantly measuring, calculating, worrying, how much have I earned? How much have I lost? What do I deserve? He has turned existence into an equation of effort and reward. And in that very calculation, he loses his connection with the flow. When you try to control the flow of life, you choke it. It's like holding your breath and wondering why you can't breathe. Life is giving its generous beyond measure. It has been showering abundance since before you were born, but you were too busy tightening your fist to receive. If you are beginning to feel your own fists loosening, if you are beginning to feel the breath returning to your life, I invite you to click the like button. Let it be a physical action that signifies an internal opening, a small yes to the universe. Money, like love, is shy. It doesn't come to the beggar, it comes to the one who is already full. It doesn't come to the chaser, it comes to the one who is still. It doesn't come to the anxious, it comes to the peaceful. You must become receptive, open, relaxed. Allowance is not passivity, it's the highest form of participation. When you are truly relaxed, your energy aligns with existence, and then things start happening on their own. Opportunities arise, people appear, ideas come, and abundance begins to unfold effortlessly as if invisible hands were guiding it all. This is the law of allowance, the art of letting life work for you instead of you working against life. Let me tell you a simple story. A man once came to me and said, "I've been meditating for years, but nothing happens. I am not peaceful, I am not prosperous, I am not fulfilled." I smiled and said, "Stop meditating." He looked shocked. "But how can I stop? It's my practice, my discipline, my devotion." I said, "That's exactly the problem. You're doing meditation. You're still striving, still fighting, still trying to control what cannot be controlled. Meditation isn't something you do, it's something that happens when you stop doing. Just sit and breathe. Let the silence find you." He left confused, but after a few days he returned with tears in his eyes. "I didn't meditate," he said. "I just sat there and suddenly everything felt perfect." That's how life works. The moment you stop pushing, the moment you allow, grace enters. If you wish to understand this art of non-doing, this art of effortless meditation, we have compiled deep insights in the books available in the description. These are not just words to read, they are devices to silence the mind. If you are ready, explore them. Allowance is not laziness, it is deep trust. It's not about doing nothing, it's about doing without tension. When you act from relaxation, every gesture becomes powerful because it's aligned with the rhythm of the whole. When you move with existence, you move in harmony, but when you act from fear, every step becomes a struggle because you're moving against the current. Fear divides your energy, it splits you in two. One part moves forward, the other pulls back. That's why your actions exhaust you. The relaxed man is not divided, he moves as one whole, and in that wholeness, miracles happen. The universe doesn't respond to effort, It responds to vibration. You can't deceive it. You can say affirmations all day. You can visualize wealth. You can repeat mantras until your throat dries. But if your inner energy is tense, doubtful, desperate, life will mirror that desperation. You may fool the world, but you cannot fool existence. Money will not come to you because you want it. It will come to you because you are ready for it. Readiness means openness, trust, receptivity. It means saying to life, I am here, I am enough, I am willing to receive whatever you wish to give. Have you ever noticed that when you are happy, when you are relaxed, when you are deeply enjoying yourself, good things start happening? Suddenly you meet the right people, you find the right opportunities, even money seems to appear out of nowhere. That's not coincidence, that's resonance. The frequency of joy attracts abundance. The frequency of anxiety attracts scarcity. When you are joyful, you are saying to existence, I trust you. And existence replies, then let me show you how generous I can be. But when you are fearful, when you are tense, when you are desperate, you are saying, I don't trust you. And existence says, then I cannot give. The mind will argue, of course. It will say, but if I don't plan, if I don't push, how will I survive? How will I succeed? The mind believes it must control everything, but control is the illusion of the insecure. Look at the sky. It doesn't need your control to remain vast. Look at the stars. They don't need your permission to shine. Look at your breath. It has been flowing in and out without your effort since you were born. Who manages that? Not you. There is a greater intelligence at work, something far wiser than your plans and goals. And when you begin to trust that intelligence, you become effortless. You stop chasing and suddenly everything starts chasing you. Think of a musician playing a flute. The music doesn't come because he forces it. It comes because he allows it. He becomes one with the instrument, one with the breath, one with the melody. The less he tries, the more beautiful the sound. That's how existence works. When you stop forcing, it begins to play through you. You don't need to make things happen. You only need to allow them. There is a story of a man holding a handful of sand. The tighter he squeezed, the more it slipped through his fingers. When he finally opened his hand, the sand settled softly on his palm. That's the law of allowance in its simplest form. When you grip life, it escapes you. When you open your hand, it stays. So remember this, abundance is not achieved, it's received. You don't have to chase it. You have to make space for it. Relax into trust. Let go of the belief that struggle creates success. Existence is infinitely abundant. Its generosity is beyond measure. But it will not force its gifts on you. It waits for your permission. You must become the open sky, not the closed fist. And when you begin to live this way, when your energy shifts from tension to trust, from effort to allowance, a new understanding begins to dawn. You see that abundance is not separate from creativity, that to attract wealth you must first express it, that the richest people are not those who take the most, but those who give the most freely, joyfully, without calculation. And that's what we will explore next. The divine truth that creativity itself is the real currency of existence. And when you create from joy, money becomes your shadow. Now we come to something deeper, something that few people ever truly understand. Money doesn't come from taking, it comes from creating. The universe does not reward greed, it rewards expression. The moment you begin to live creatively, the moment you begin to share your energy, your ideas, your joy, existence begins to pour abundance into you. Because money in its essence is not a thing, it's a movement, a current, a reflection of your creative flow. When your energy is alive, when you are giving to life, life starts to give back to you in ways that cannot be predicted or measured. But when you close yourself off, when you hold, when you resist, you stop the flow, and all forms of richness, not just money, begin to dry up. Most people think of money as something to possess, something to store, to hold, to guard. But money, like blood, must circulate, otherwise it becomes poison. A stagnant river rots, a flowing one stays pure. The same law governs wealth. The more freely it moves through you, the more of its existence entrusts to your hands. The moment you try to capture it, it begins to slip away. Money is meant to flow, not just through transactions, but through creation, through generosity, through sharing the gifts that are uniquely yours. The more you hold, the less you have. The more you share, the more you become. The truly rich are not those who accumulate. They are those who create. Creation is abundance manifesting itself. Look at existence. Look at how endlessly creative it is. The sun doesn't rise once and stop. It rises every day. The trees don't grow one season and retire. They bloom again and again. The ocean doesn't make one wave. It makes billions. Life is extravagant. It overflows. And yet you've been told to limit yourself, to be efficient, to be conservative, to be safe. The moment you became afraid to create, you became poor, because life flows through the courageous. Abundance belongs to those who dare to express. There's a story about a painter who lived in a small village. He was poor not because he lacked talent, but because he kept painting what others wanted to see. He copied the style of famous artists. He tried to please everyone, but no one bought his work. One day, tired and desperate, he stopped trying. He threw away his brushes, sat under a tree, and began painting for himself. He painted the sky the way he saw it, wild, chaotic, full of laughter. He painted the river, the trees, his own heartbeat, and people began to notice. His paintings came alive. Within months, his work was in demand, but he no longer cared about selling. He painted because he had found joy. That's how abundance works. It comes when you stop trading authenticity for approval. Every act of true creativity is a prayer to existence. When you dance, when you sing, when you write, when you build, when you serve, not for gain but for joy, you align yourself with the very nature of life. Existence is a constant creation. Every second it births stars, ideas, beings. To live creatively is to live in tune with the divine. And once you are in tune, abundance follows effortlessly. You can't stop it because you have become one with the source of all creation. You are no longer asking for wealth. You are channeling it. Real wealth comes from inspiration, not obligation. When you act from duty, you are heavy. When you act from joy, you are light. The world has enough laborers. It needs creators. It has enough workers. It needs dreamers. When you create something of beauty, even if it's just a kind word, a smile, a meal, a melody, you participate in the expansion of life, and life never forgets to reward those who expand it. The more joy you add to existence, the more joy comes back to you, multiplied, magnified, transformed. But this giving cannot be mechanical. You cannot fake generosity. You cannot say, I will give so that I can get. That's business, not giving. True giving is spontaneous. It arises from fullness, not strategy. You give because you have too much to contain. The tree doesn't give fruit as charity. It gives because it's overflowing. When you live that way, every act becomes sacred. When you cook, when you talk, when you create, when you love, it becomes meditation. And meditation is the highest form of magnetism. The more silent and joyful you are, the more existence pours abundance into you. This is the law of creativity, that money follows joy, not toil. The universe does not respond to sweat. It responds to sincerity. When you create something meaningful, even if it seems small, existence takes note. It begins to conspire in your favor. You meet the right people at the right time. Ideas blossom without effort. Opportunities appear as if out of nowhere. This is not magic. It is the natural result of alignment. When your heart, your work, and your joy are one, abundance is inevitable. You have been told to work for money. I tell you, let money work for you. You have been told to sacrifice your creativity for stability. I tell you, stability is death, creativity is life. A flower that stops blooming in fear of the wind will wither anyway. The artist who hides his art because he fears failure is already poor. Don't fear failure. Existence doesn't measure your success by results. It measures your energy. Even a small act done with total love is worth more than a lifetime of dull labor. There's another story about a man who planted trees not for profit but for love. Every morning he would walk into the forest and plant a few seeds. People mocked him. Why waste your time? You won't live to see them grow. But he smiled and kept planting. Years passed and the forest grew dense and green. Birds returned, rain fell more often, and the entire village prospered. He had never asked for anything, but life gave him everything. That is the mystery of abundance. When you stop asking, life starts giving. So understand this clearly. Creativity is currency. The more creative you are, the richer your life becomes, not just in money, but in love, in health, in peace. To create is to trust. To trust is to allow, and to allow is to live in abundance. Stop asking, what can I get? Start asking, what can I give? Because what you give is what grows. And when you begin to live in this rhythm, when every breath becomes an offering, when every act becomes art, money becomes a natural companion. It follows like a shadow, quietly, effortlessly. You don't have to run after it. You only have to dance your dance, sing your song, share your gift. And once you discover this secret that giving and receiving are one, something magnificent happens inside you. The fear of loss disappears, and in its place, gratitude begins to bloom. You start to understand that life was never withholding anything from you. You are withholding yourself from life. And that's what we'll explore next. The dance of giving, the sacred rhythm that turns every act of sharing into abundance, every gesture of love into wealth, every breath into prosperity. Because when you give, you remind existence that you are alive, and existence never forgets to give back to those who live fully. When you begin to live in this understanding, a subtle shift happens within your being. Giving stops feeling like sacrifice and starts feeling like breathing. You inhale, you exhale, you receive, you give. There is no tension, no calculation, no agenda. It's natural, effortless, rhythmic. This is the dance of giving, the real heartbeat of abundance. You see, the universe has its own pulse, its own flow, and when you live in alignment with that rhythm, you begin to experience a mysterious synchronicity, as if life itself is dancing with you. Every time you share with joy, the universe responds with more. But every time you hoard out of fear, life quietly closes its doors. You don't get punished, you simply fall out of harmony. Abundance is not a reward, it's a resonance. People think that when they give, they lose something, but what you give doesn't disappear, it transforms. A candle that lights another candle loses nothing. Instead, the light doubles. If this message is lighting a candle within you, do not keep it to yourself. Press the share button. Be the one who lights another's candle. And if you wish to help us keep this flame burning bright, consider using the Super Thanks feature. Every contribution is wood for the fire of awareness. The beggar holds on to his last coin and remains poor. The wise man gives his last coin and discovers that his hands are never empty again, because giving opens the space through which life can enter. It's like opening a window in a dark room. The moment you do, the breeze begins to move. The light begins to pour in. But if you keep the window shut, you may have safety, but you also have suffocation. When you stop giving, you stop growing. When you stop growing, you begin to die. Giving is not limited to money. That's the smallest form of it. You can give your attention, your kindness, your laughter, your creativity, your time, your silence. Every form of giving is sacred because it acknowledges the truth that nothing is truly yours. It's all flowing through you. You are just a channel, a bridge, a vessel. And when the vessel allows the water to flow freely, it is always full. But when it tries to hold, it cracks. Life's energy cannot be contained. It must move. So let it move through you, and you will never lack. There was once a beggar who lived outside a rich man's mansion. Every day he begged for food, and every day he cursed his fate. Years passed and he grew old, bitter, resentful. When he was dying, someone asked him to open the box he had been sitting on for decades. Inside they found gold coins enough to feed him 100 lifetimes. He had been sitting on his treasure the whole time, unaware of it. Humanity lives like that beggar. You sit on infinite abundance, the abundance of love, of creativity, of connection, yet you go on begging from life, saying, "Give me more." You don't realize that by giving, you begin to discover the treasure hidden within you. I have often said that money is like blood. It must circulate. If blood stops flowing, the body dies. If money stops flowing, your life stagnates. You become rigid, fearful, small. The miser is the poorest of men because he is owned by his possessions. His gold is his coffin. He counts it every day to make sure it's still there, not realizing that in his fear of losing it, he has already lost life. The one who gives freely is never poor because he is connected to the infinite source. He doesn't rely on what he owns, he relies on what flows. And flow is infinite. Have you ever noticed that after giving, after sharing something with genuine love, you feel lighter, freer, more alive? That's not imagination, that's energy in motion. When you give, you cleanse yourself of stagnation. You release old patterns of fear and space opens for something new to enter. But when you hold back, when you act from greed, that energy becomes blocked. It turns into tension, into anxiety, into disease. Even your body knows it. People who hold too tightly, who fear losing, often suffer physically. Their energy is trapped. But the ones who trust, who share, who live generously, they glow, they radiate because their energy moves like a river, fresh and alive. And this is where a strange paradox unfolds. The more you give, the more you receive. But it's not a transaction, it's a law. Existence abhors emptiness. Whenever you create space through giving, it rushes to fill it. But if you hold, if you clutter your hands and your heart, there's no room left for the new. Imagine a cup already full. How can you pour more tea into it? To receive, you must first empty. This is why giving and receiving are not opposites. They are two sides of the same act. When you give, you are simultaneously receiving because you're saying to life, I trust you. And life loves that trust. It responds with abundance. Let me tell you another story. A monk once lived by a river, meditating all day. One morning he saw a poor fisherman drop his food into the water. The man was devastated, for it was all he had. The monk watched silently, then offered the fisherman his own meal. The fisherman bowed with tears in his eyes and said, How can I repay you? The monk smiled and said, By feeding the next hungry soul you meet. That evening, the fisherman caught more fish than he ever had in his life. He remembered the monk's words and began to share. Years later, the entire village prospered because one man had chosen to give rather than hold. Giving multiplies because it connects you to the web of existence. You don't need to keep score. Existence keeps balance on its own. Real generosity has nothing to do with wealth. A rich man may give millions and remain poor if his giving comes from pride. But a poor man who gives a smile, who offers kindness, who shares his last piece of bread with love, he is infinitely rich. True giving is not about the size of the gift, it's about the state of the heart. You give not to gain, but because giving itself is joy. When giving becomes your nature, when it becomes your way of being, money will flow to you because you have become a channel for it to circulate through. You are no longer holding, you are allowing. Remember this, giving doesn't mean losing, it means trusting. When you trust existence enough to let go, existence trusts you enough to give more. And this trust creates a magnetic field around you. People want to give to you, opportunities want to come to you, abundance wants to reach you. You don't have to chase anymore. You become the center around which everything begins to move. This is the power of the open hand, the power of the generous heart. So, let your giving be play, not duty. Let it be song, not strategy. Don't give with a frown, give with laughter. Don't give to impress, give to express. Because the moment you start giving from joy, you join the dance of existence. And in that dance there is no poverty, no scarcity, no fear, only flow. And once you realize this, once you begin to see that the universe itself breathes through the rhythm of giving and receiving, a deeper truth begins to unfold. That abundance is not something you achieve through struggle or attract through effort. It is a frequency, a vibration. And the moment you tune your being to it through gratitude, through trust, through joy, it becomes impossible for wealth to avoid you. It must find you because you become one with its song. And that is what we'll explore next. The frequency of wealth, the vibration of abundance that lives not in your bank account, but in your being. Because when your energy sings in harmony with existence, money is no longer something you earn. It becomes the echo of your joy, the reflection of your inner richness, the music of your effortless alignment with life itself. But to tune into this music, you must understand the silence from which it comes. If you are ready to tune your frequency to stop the static of anxiety and hear the music of abundance, type harmony in the comments. Let this word be your tuning fork. And if you have been walking this path with us, ensure you have clicked subscribe. Do not let the connection break. For those who wish to offer energy back to the source, the join button is your way to participate in this dance. Now, prepare yourself. We are about to enter the subtle world of vibration. Everything in this universe is energy. Everything, your thoughts, your emotions, your breath, your heartbeat, your laughter, even your silence, it's all vibration. And money too is energy, a subtle current that moves through the field of life, responding not to your words, not to your effort, but to your frequency. You cannot see it, but you can feel it. That invisible hum beneath everything that either opens the door to abundance or quietly closes it. When you are fearful, tense, anxious, your vibration contracts. Your energy becomes small, dense, heavy. The universe feels it. It reads it like a signal. And because it always mirrors you, it sends back experiences that match that energy. Scarcity, struggle, limitation. But when you are relaxed, grateful, joyful, open, your vibration expands. It becomes soft, light, radiant. You become magnetic, and money opportunities and synchronicities begin to orbit around you as naturally as planets around the sun. This is the frequency of wealth, not a frequency of greed, not a frequency of ambition, but a frequency of deep trust. To vibrate in abundance means to live as if you already have enough, because in truth you do. It means to walk through life with a quiet knowing that you are supported, that existence is on your side, that there is no need to rush, no need to push, no need to panic. When you live in this vibration, money starts to behave differently. It stops being an adversary, something to chase or control, and becomes a friend, a reflection of your inner state. I once met a man who had everything money could buy, houses, cars, fame, yet his eyes were filled with fear. He was constantly worried that he might lose what he had gained. His hands were full, but his heart was empty. His vibration was scarcity disguised as success. He attracted wealth, yes, but his energy repelled peace. He didn't understand that abundance is not measured by what you possess, but by how you feel. I told him, you have collected shadows. What you are missing is light, and that light is gratitude. Gratitude is the most powerful magnet in existence. When you are grateful, you tell the universe, I trust you. You acknowledge that what you have is enough, that what you are is enough, and the universe, hearing that vibration, says, then take more, because life gives to those who celebrate, not to those who complain. Have you noticed that when you are unhappy, even the smallest inconvenience feels heavy, but when you are joyful, even the biggest challenges seem light? That's because gratitude changes your frequency. It turns every obstacle into an opportunity, every loss into a lesson, every moment into wealth. If you are feeling this shift, if you are ready to turn your obstacles into wealth, I invite you to click the like button. Let it be a signal of your changing frequency, and do not forget to subscribe so you remain tuned to this channel of awareness. There was once a monk who had nothing but an old bowl. Every morning he would walk through the village, thanking existence for the chance to beg. Even when people ignored him, even when he went hungry, he remained grateful. One night he placed his empty bowl before him and whispered, Thank you for this emptiness, for even in it there is space for fullness to come. The next morning he found food in his bowl, not because someone gave it to him, but because the universe itself responded to his vibration. Gratitude doesn't wait for abundance, it creates it. Your vibration is your real currency. Words are cheap, energy is priceless. You can speak of prosperity all day. You can repeat affirmations and visualize wealth. But if your heart is heavy, if your spirit is full of doubt, those affirmations are like seeds scattered on concrete. They will not take root. But one moment of genuine gratitude, one moment of deep joy, one moment of absolute trust is enough to open doors that logic could never open. The frequency of wealth is not intellectual, it is emotional. It's not something you think your way into, it's something you feel your way into. Imagine tuning a radio. The station is already broadcasting, the music is already there. But if you are on the wrong frequency, all you hear is static. You can shout at the radio, you can bang on it, you can blame the music, but until you tune yourself to the right frequency, nothing changes. The same applies to money. The music of abundance is always playing, but most people are too busy shouting over it to hear. When you quiet your mind, when you soften your energy, when you trust the rhythm, suddenly the music becomes clear and you realize it was never missing. You were simply out of tune. The mind loves to complicate things. It says, I must do more, achieve more, plan more. But energy is simple. It doesn't respond to your plans, it responds to your peace. The more peaceful you are, the more power flows through you. That's why the richest experiences in life come to those who are calm. A calm lake reflects the moon perfectly. A stormy sea distorts its image. When your mind is calm, you reflect the abundance of the universe clearly, and it flows into you without resistance. When your mind is restless, your reflection is broken, and even the light of abundance cannot find its way in. So, learn to be still, not passive still. Stillness is not inaction, it is presence. It is the art of being fully here without tension, without distraction, without demand. When you are still, you become a mirror and life begins to reflect back its greatest beauty. When you are still, you vibrate with the frequency of the cosmos itself, infinite, abundant, eternal. I remember a man once came to me and said, "Oh, I've been praying for money for years and nothing happens." I said, "When you pray, what do you feel?" He said, "I feel desperate." I smiled and said, "Then you are praying for desperation." The universe doesn't hear your words, it hears your vibration. If your prayer is filled with lack, you are reinforcing lack. If your meditation is filled with anxiety, you are deepening anxiety. You cannot trick the universe. It speaks the language of energy, not words. The only true prayer is gratitude, and the only true meditation is silence. If you wish to learn this silence, if you wish to deepen your meditation so that it becomes a magnet rather than a struggle, I have spoken on this in many discourses which are now available as books linked in the description. These are tools for your transformation. Use them. When you start to live in gratitude, money becomes light, fluid, alive. It stops being a burden, stops being something to cling to, and starts being something that moves freely through you. You begin to attract not because you desire, but because you are aligned. The moment you stop needing money, it starts needing you because your vibration is peace, and peace is priceless. So remember this, abundance is not something you achieve, it's something you attune to. You don't chase it, you become it. When you vibrate with joy, gratitude, trust, creativity, and love, existence mirrors those qualities back to you. You find yourself living in a world that feels generous, loving, supportive, and miraculous, not because the world changed, but because your vibration did. And when you begin to live in this vibration, when your energy sings the song of abundance, something extraordinary happens. You start to see that money was never the goal, only the reflection. The real wealth was never in your possessions, it was in your perception. You discover that the richest person is not the one who owns the most, but the one who needs the least. And that's what we will explore next. What lies beyond money? The true riches that no bank can hold, no market can sell, and no thief can steal. The wealth of being, the richness of awareness, the abundance of freedom. Because once you understand that, even gold will look poor compared to the treasure of your own soul. Once this understanding begins to ripen inside you, once you start to feel that the real treasure of life is not outside you but within you, a gentle laughter arises. You begin to see how humanity has been chasing shadows, fighting over reflections, dying for illusions. People kill for money, yet they cannot take even a single coin beyond the grave. They fight to own what was never theirs to begin with, blind to the truth that what is truly theirs, their awareness, their freedom, their joy, they have ignored completely. This is why I say that the richest man is not the one who owns the world, but the one who has no need to own anything at all. True wealth is freedom from need. When you are no longer possessed by your possessions, when your happiness is not tied to what you have or don't have, you step into a wealth that cannot be lost. That is the wealth of being. You are born rich not with money, but with consciousness. You entered this world with the greatest treasure already within you, the ability to be aware, to love, to create, to witness. But from the moment you arrived, you were taught that your value depends on what you earn, on what you achieve, on how others see you. So you began the endless race, the competition to become someone, to have something, to prove something. And in that mad race, you lost the greatest gift you had, yourself. The world made you believe that peace comes from possession, but possession only breeds anxiety. You don't possess things, they possess you. The moment you own something, you start fearing its loss. And fear is the opposite of wealth. Real abundance begins when fear ends. When you no longer cling, no longer compare, no longer calculate, suddenly a new dimension opens within you. A vastness, a stillness, a serenity that no fortune can buy. You start living as awareness, not as ego. The ego is poor because it always needs more. It feeds on desire, and desire is a bottomless pit. No matter how much you throw into it, it remains empty. Awareness, on the other hand, is always full. It needs nothing because it sees that everything it truly needs is already here. When you live as awareness, you could be sitting under a tree with nothing but the sky above and the earth beneath, and you would feel like an emperor. There was once a great king who had everything: armies, palaces, jewels, women, fame, yet he was deeply miserable. One day he heard about a mystic living in the mountains, a man said to be the happiest in the world. The king went to him and asked, "Tell me your secret, how can I be as happy as you?" The mystic laughed and said, "Give me your kingdom and I'll give you my happiness." The king hesitated. "That's impossible, I cannot give up everything I own." The mystic smiled and said, "Then you can never be free because you are owned by what you think you own. My happiness is not in what I have, it's in what I don't need." The king left angry, But those words stayed with him. Slowly he began to let go. First his greed, then his pride, then his fears, and one day he woke up laughing. He had lost everything but found himself, and in that moment he realized he had gained the world. Freedom is the ultimate luxury, and awareness is the only true currency. When you are free, when your joy is not dependent on conditions, you have found the real gold. The enlightened man may have nothing, yet kings bow before him because his presence radiates the fragrance of inner richness. He does not chase abundance, abundance chases him. Why? Because he has become abundance itself. When you are whole, life surrounds you with wholeness. When you are empty, life mirrors that emptiness. The lotus is my symbol for this truth. It grows in the mud yet remains untouched by it. It rises from darkness yet blooms in light. The lotus teaches you that true richness is not the absence of struggle but the ability to stay pure within it. You can live in the marketplace surrounded by noise, by desire, by ambition, and yet remain in the silence of your being. That is real mastery. Anyone can be peaceful in a cave. That's easy. But to be still while the world spins around you, to be calm while storms rage, to be unattached while surrounded by gold, that is enlightenment. That is freedom. The world will tell you that detachment means renouncing life, running away from pleasure, rejecting success. But that's a misunderstanding. Detachment is not rejection. It's freedom from obsession. You can enjoy wealth, love, beauty, power without being enslaved by them. You can walk among the flowers without picking them. You can taste the fruit without clinging to the tree. Detachment is not indifference, it is intimacy without ownership. It is love without fear. When you live this way, money loses its power to control you. It becomes a servant, not a master. You use it, you play with it, you share it, but you don't worship it. Once a sage was asked, "Why do you never worry about money?" He smiled and said, "Because money belongs to the world, not to me. When I have it, I let it pass through my hands. When I don't, I rest in the same peace." That is true detachment. To live without anxiety about gain or loss is the highest form of wealth. Because when you stop chasing, stop fearing, stop needing, you have everything even if you own nothing. This is the final door of abundance, detachment. When you walk through it, grace begins to rain upon you like an endless shower. You attract not just money, but love, peace, freedom, creativity, joy. Everything that was running away from you begins to come closer because you are no longer grasping. You have become empty, and in your emptiness, the universe pours itself in. Understand this deeply. Non-attachment is not against life. It is for life. The attached man cannot enjoy what he has because he is always afraid of losing it. The detached man enjoys everything fully because he knows it was never his to begin with. He is like a guest who marvels at the beauty of the world without trying to own it. Every flower, every sunrise, every kiss, every coin, all are gifts. And he receives them with gratitude, without claim, without control. When you reach this space, money becomes play, not power. You can use it, but you are not used by it. You can spend it, but it cannot spend you. You can hold it in your hands without it taking root in your heart. That is mastery. To be in the world but not of it, to touch the gold without being tarnished by it, to live among possessions without being possessed, And when you live like this, effortlessly, fearlessly, joyfully, you find that life itself becomes abundance. Every breath feels rich, every moment feels full, every heartbeat feels like a treasure. You realize that the only thing that ever stood between you and wealth was your belief that you had to fight for it. But the truth is, life was always on your side. Existence has been waiting all along to give you everything. It was just waiting for you to stop clutching and start trusting. So now, let this be your meditation. Live fully, give freely, receive gratefully, and let go easily. Be like the wind passing through yet touching everything. Be like the river flowing yet never lost. Be like the lotus rooted in the earth yet rising toward the sun. Then you will know what it means to live effortlessly in abundance, to be rich without effort, to attract wealth without wanting it, to be full without owning a thing. When you understand this secret, you begin to see that money is not about numbers. It is about energy, and energy always flows where there is openness. The miser, the fearful, the anxious, they close their hands. The open hand gives, and in giving it, receives. Existence never keeps accounts. It only responds to your state of being. If you live in fear, you magnetize lack. If you live in gratitude, you magnetize abundance. Life mirrors you perfectly. So don't ask, how do I make more money? Ask, how do I relax more deeply into life? Because when you relax, your energy becomes magnetic. It begins to draw everything you need, not through greed but through grace. The universe loves relaxed people because they are easy to flow through. The tense man creates blockages. The relaxed man becomes a channel. Existence pours itself into him because he doesn't resist. And money is one of the ways existence expresses its flow. When you are open, trusting, alive, the flow includes money, love, opportunities, joy, all come together. But when you chase money, it runs away. When you worship it, it turns to dust. When you fear losing it, you lose your freedom. Money is not meant to be a master. It is meant to be a mirror. It shows you exactly where your consciousness is. If your relationship with money is full of fear, that fear will follow you into every corner of life. If your relationship with money is full of trust and playfulness, that trust will touch everything you do. Money itself is neutral. It is your energy that gives it meaning. Remember this, money is movement. It's like blood in the body. It must circulate to stay alive. The miser holds it and wonders why he feels empty. The generous man shares it and wonders why it keeps coming back. Because giving keeps the river alive. The law of abundance is simple. What you give with joy multiplies, what you withhold out of fear stagnates. When you give without counting, life counts for you. When you trust, existence takes care. When you relax, abundance begins to dance around you. If you are ready to let this abundance dance around you, if you are ready to let go of the stagnation of fear, write one final declaration in the comments: I open my hands. Let this be your pact with the universe. And as we approach the end of this journey, I ask you to consider becoming a member of this channel. Click join to support the flow of this wisdom, or use super thanks to show your appreciation for this silence we have shared. There was once a poor man who prayed every day for wealth. He would sit beneath a tree and beg existence to make him rich. One day a mystic passed by and asked, "Why are you so desperate?" The man said, "Because I have nothing." The mystic smiled and said, "If you have nothing, then why are your fists clenched?" The man looked down and saw that his hands were tight as if holding something invisible. The mystic said, "Open your hands." The man opened them, and suddenly a breeze passed, cool and fragrant, carrying a strange sense of fullness. "Now you are ready," said the mystic, "because only the open hand can receive. That is the secret. The closed hand receives nothing, not even air. So open yourself, be ready to give, to receive, to let the river flow. Don't call it charity, call it celebration. When you share your abundance, you multiply it, because energy shared becomes energy renewed. Every act of generosity refreshes your connection with the whole. You are not losing money, you are sending a message to existence. I trust you. I know there is more where this came from. And existence always responds to that trust. The whole universe begins to conspire to prove you right. The poor man lives in a constant state of fear. Even when he has money, he is afraid of losing it. The rich man of awareness is poor in possessions but rich in being. He knows that real security does not come from the bank but from the heart. When you live in trust, you can sleep peacefully, whether you have a palace or a small hut, because you know that tomorrow life will provide again. You don't need to store, you need to stay connected. This is the alchemy of money. When you treat it with awareness, it becomes a servant of your freedom. When you treat it with greed, it becomes your master. Awareness transforms everything. Even gold becomes divine when touched by consciousness. That is why I say abundance is not about possession. It is about perception. The more aware you are, the more you see that existence itself is the greatest treasure. When you look at the stars, you are rich. When you watch a sunset, you are rich. When you sit in silence and feel the heart beating, you are rich. Riches are not what you own, they are what you can feel. The beggar who can feel gratitude is wealthier than the millionaire who cannot stop comparing himself to others. Gratitude is the currency of the soul. The one who lives in it never goes bankrupt. So if you want to attract money effortlessly, don't chase it. Don't plan to trap it. Don't fight to possess it. Simply become more alive, more playful, more grateful. Let your energy rise from tension to trust. Be generous with your laughter, your love, your time, your joy. Then money will start coming to you because you will have become magnetic, not because of some technique, but because existence cannot resist a joyful heart. When you begin to trust life, when you stop living from fear, something subtle yet immense begins to happen. Your energy, which was once trapped in anxiety, begins to move freely again. That movement is creativity. It is the same current that makes rivers sing, that makes stars explode, that makes flowers bloom in the dark of night. It is existence expressing itself through you, unique, spontaneous, alive. This is where real abundance begins, because creativity is the natural language of the universe. It is the pulse of life itself. You see, money was never meant to be chased. It was meant to be a reflection of your creative energy. When your energy is flowing joyfully, money comes as its shadow. The shadow does not need to be invited. It follows automatically. The tragedy of the modern man is that he has reversed the order. He chases the shadow and loses the substance. He works, he fights, he competes, he burns his energy for money, and in doing so he becomes poor in the very source of wealth. The real richness is in creativity, not accumulation. Look at existence. It is infinitely abundant. The trees never count how many leaves they grow. The ocean never worries about how many waves it can afford. Existence gives because giving is its nature. When you are aligned with that nature, giving becomes as effortless as breathing. And now, as we conclude this discourse, do not rush back into the noise. Stay in this feeling, stay in this trust. If these words have penetrated your heart, do not let them fade. Subscribe to this channel so we can meet again in this space of truth. Share this video. Let the river flow through you to others. Check the description for the books that can guide you further into this mystery. And if you feel the gratitude we spoke of, the super thanks and join buttons are your way to express it. Go now, but do not go as a beggar. Go as an emperor. Go with an open hand. Goodbye. But do not think that the journey ends here. The mind is cunning. It will listen to all of this. It will nod in agreement, and then it will whisper, yes, but what about tomorrow? That question, what about tomorrow, is the root of all poverty. We must cut this root. We must go deeper into this fear of the future, because until you understand the insanity of living for tomorrow, you will never be able to receive the abundance of today. You are always preparing to live, but you never live. You are always gathering money for a future that never arrives. You are like a man who spends his whole life making his bed, smoothing the sheets, fluffing the pillows, but never actually goes to sleep. And then death comes, and the bed is made, the bank account is full, but the sleeper is exhausted. He has missed the sleep and he has missed the dream. Do not be that man. To understand wealth, you must understand time. The poor man lives in the future. The rich man of awareness lives in the now. Money is only possible in the now. Energy can only flow in the now. When you are worrying about next year, you are leaking energy. You are not present to see the opportunity standing right in front of you. You are looking at the horizon, and while you look at the horizon, you trip over the gold at your feet. I tell you, bring your awareness back to this moment, this very breath. Is there any lack right now? In this second, are you not breathing? Is your heart not beating? Is existence not supporting you? When you realize that this moment is always full, a great relaxation happens. And in that relaxation, the chemistry of your body changes. Your vibration shifts from I need to I have. And remember the law. To him who has, more shall be given. To him who thinks he has not, even what he has shall be taken away. This is not a threat. It is a description of how energy works. If you are ready to stop living in the ghost of tomorrow and start living in the reality of today, press the like button. Let it be an anchor to this moment. And if you have not yet subscribed, do it now. Do not procrastinate. Procrastination is the thief of life. Let us look at the nature of security. You chase money because you want to feel secure. You want to build a wall around yourself so that nothing can hurt you, so that the unknown cannot enter. But listen to me. Life is insecure. Love is insecure. Joy is insecure. Only death is secure. In a grave you are perfectly safe. Nothing can happen to you there. No bank can go bankrupt. No thief can steal from you. No market can crash. You are safe, but you are dead. Do you want safety or do you want aliveness? The man who chases money for security is trying to die before his time. He wants to freeze life, but life is a river. It cannot be frozen. It must flow, and because it flows, it is unpredictable. The wealthy spirit falls in love with this unpredictability. He does not ask for guarantees, he asks for adventure. He treats money not as a shield but as a ticket to explore the unknown. When you stop seeking security, a tremendous energy is released. The energy that was bound up in fear becomes available for creativity. You start taking risks, and money loves risk. Money is like a woman, she gets bored with the man who is too safe, too calculated, too predictable. She runs to the gambler, to the one who is willing to bet everything on a dream. I am not telling you to be foolish, I am telling you to be courageous. The miser is a coward. He hides behind his gold. The master is a warrior. He stands naked in the wind and trusts that the wind will carry him. If you feel this warrior spirit awakening in you, if you feel the courage to trust the insecurity of life, type "I trust the flow" in the comments. Let your declaration echo in the digital cosmos, and consider if this message nourishes your courage. Supporting this channel through super thanks. It is a way of saying to the universe, I value courage, I value truth. Now let us speak of competition. You have been told that the world is a battlefield, that you must fight for your share, that if you do not grab it, someone else will. This is the logic of the jungle, not the logic of humanity, and certainly not the logic of divinity. In the world of consciousness, there is no competition, because no one else can be you. No one else can offer what you can offer. Your unique creativity is your monopoly. When you try to be like others, you compete. When you become yourself, you create. And the market of existence pays the highest price for authenticity. Copies are cheap. Originals are priceless. Why are you poor? Because you are a copy. You are trying to do what your neighbor is doing, what your father did, what society tells you to do. You are ignoring the unique song that existence wants to sing through you. Stop looking at others' plates. Look at your own bowl. It is already overflowing, but you are too busy looking away to see it. Find your own talent. It may be anything: cooking, gardening, painting, listening, speaking. It does not matter what it is. What matters is that you put your whole heart into it. When you pour your total energy into something you love, it becomes a magnet. It begins to shine. And the world is attracted to light. You do not need to market yourself if you are on fire. The fire is its own marketing. People will come from miles away just to watch you burn with joy. And when they come, they will bring their energy, their love, and yes, their money. But you will not be concerned with that. You will be too busy dancing in your fire. This is the secret of the golden touch. King Midas was a fool. He wanted to turn things into dead gold. The real Midas touch is to turn ordinary actions into living joy. When you touch your work with joy, it turns to gold. I want you to try a small experiment. Tomorrow, whatever you do, whether you are washing dishes, driving a car, or writing a report, do it as if it is the most important thing in the world. Do it with total awareness. Do it with love. Do not think about the paycheck. Do not think about the boss. Just be with the act. Suddenly you will see a transformation. The boredom will disappear. A subtle joy will arise. And in that joy you will find the frequency of abundance. If you are ready to turn your work into worship, to turn your labor into love, hit the join button and become a member of our inner circle. Let us walk this path of transformation together. There is another trap we must dismantle, the trap of deserving. Many of you subconsciously believe you do not deserve to be wealthy. You have been told that money is dirty, that money is evil, that spiritual people should be poor. This is a poison that has been fed to you by priests and politicians for centuries. They want you poor because poor people are easy to control. A rich man, rich in awareness, rich in resources, is dangerous. He cannot be bribed, he cannot be threatened. I say to you, money is spiritual, energy is spiritual, matter is spiritual. There is no division. The coin in your pocket is made of the same divine atoms as the star in the sky. To reject money is to reject a part of God. Drop this guilt. Drop this idea that you are a sinner. You are not a sinner. You are a seed. And the seed deserves to become a tree. It deserves the sun. It deserves the rain. It deserves the soil. Does the rose bush feel guilty when it blooms? Does it say, "Oh, I am taking too much nourishment from the earth"? No, it blooms in total celebration. Be like the rose. Claim your heritage. Existence wants you to be rich. It wants you to be beautiful. It wants you to be overflowing. Because when you are overflowing, you can share. When you are empty, what can you share? Only your misery. A poor man cannot help the poor. Only a rich man can help. But remember, when I say rich, I do not just mean the bank balance. I mean the richness of the heart. If you have money but no love, you are a beggar. If you have love but no money, you are a saint, but a saint with limited hands. But if you have both, then you are Zorba the Buddha. You are capable of enjoying the earth and the sky. You can drink the wine of the body and the nectar of the soul. That is my vision for you. Total wealth, 100% outer, 100% inner. Do not choose. Choice is poverty. Take both. Eat the cake and have it too. Why not? Existence is vast enough. If you claim this total wealth, if you refuse to choose between the material and the spiritual, write in the comments, "I choose both." And as you write that, feel the expansion in your chest. The walls of your conditioning are cracking. The light is getting in. Let us speak of patience. The modern mind is in a hurry. You want instant coffee, instant gratification, instant enlightenment, instant wealth. But nature does not hurry. You plant the seed, and then you must wait. You water it, you protect it, but you cannot pull it up to see if the roots are growing. Trust the dark time. Trust the time when nothing seems to be happening. Underground, in the silence, the roots are spreading. They are finding the water. If you dig it up, you kill it. Your desire for wealth is a seed. You have planted it. Now forget it. Go about your life. Dance, sing, celebrate. Do not keep looking at the soil. Do not keep checking your bank account every hour. That is anxiety. And anxiety kills the seed. Let existence do its work in the dark. One day after a rain, you will wake up and see a small green shoot, and then the growth will be explosive. But you must have the patience to wait for that season. The rich man is simply a man who has learned the art of waiting without frustration. He knows the spring will come. Are you willing to wait? Are you willing to trust the timing of your life? If you are struggling with patience, if you feel the urge to rush, I recommend you look at the books on Tao and Wu Wei linked in the description. They will teach you the power of action through non-action. And remember, we are building a community of patience and trust here. Your subscription is a vote for this community. Your like is a signal to the algorithm that wisdom matters more than noise. Now, a very delicate point, the void. Often, just before a great abundance enters your life, you will experience a great emptiness. Things will fall apart. Relationships may end. jobs may be lost, you will feel abandoned. Do not panic. This is the vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum. When the old leaves fall, the tree is naked. It looks vulnerable. But this nakedness is necessary for the new leaves to come. If you are going through a difficult time right now, if you feel empty, rejoice. I say again, rejoice. You are being emptied so you can be filled. If you were full of your old junk, where would the new treasure go? Celebrate the emptiness. Decorate it with your silence. Sit in it like a king sitting on a throne. Say to existence, I am ready, I am open, fill me with what is right for me. Do not ask for what you think you want. Your mind is small, its desires are small. Ask for what existence wants to give you. Its plans for you are far greater than your own. You are asking for a toy car. Existence wants to give you wings, but you are crying for the toy car. Drop the toy. Open your hands for the wings. This surrender is the ultimate key. When you surrender, you are no longer a separate wave fighting the ocean. You become the ocean. And does the ocean worry about money? Does the ocean worry about resources? It is the resource. I am inviting you to melt into the whole. This melting is what I call let go. It is not giving up. It is not defeat. It is the ultimate victory. It is realizing that you do not need to fight because you are already the winner. As we move toward the silence of this understanding, I want you to feel the vibration of your own body. Is there tension in your shoulders? Drop it. Is there tightness in your belly? Let it soften. Money cannot enter a tense body. Wealth cannot enter a tense mind. Soften. Breathe. Smile. Even if your pockets are empty, let your face be full of the riches of a smile. That smile is a check that you can cash anywhere in the universe. We have spoken much, but words are only fingers pointing to the moon. Do not bite the finger. Look at the moon. The moon is your own inner being, radiant, full, complete. Stay with this completeness. And as we prepare for the next phase of this understanding, I remind you, the energy you give is the energy you receive. If you have received value today, consider using the Super Thanks button. It is a button of gratitude. If you wish to walk closer with us, the Join button is open. And always, always share this message. When you share abundance, you become abundant. We will continue. The river flows on. The river flows on. And where does it flow? It flows into the ocean. It does not ask, will the ocean accept me? It does not ask, am I big enough? It simply surrenders. And in that surrender, the river becomes the ocean. You are that river. Abundance is that ocean. But you are afraid to merge. You are holding on to your banks, holding on to your muddy water, thinking, this is mine, this is me. And this holding is what you call poverty. Let us go deeper into this illusion of ownership. You think you own your house? You think you own your land? You think you own your money? Do not be foolish. The stones of your house were here millions of years before you were born. They will be here millions of years after you are gone. You are just a guest, a temporary visitor. The moment you think, I own this, you become heavy. You become a prisoner of your own property. Have you seen the face of a rich man who is attached to his wealth? He looks like a security guard, not an emperor. He is always watching, always suspicious, always afraid. He is not enjoying his palace. He is guarding it. And who is he guarding it for? For death, because death will come and take the keys from his hand and he will go empty. The enlightened attitude toward money is, I am a trustee, not an owner. When you are a trustee, you are light. You use the money, you enjoy it, you circulate it, but you do not carry the weight of it. You know it belongs to existence. It has been given to you to play with for a little while. So play. This brings us to the concept of Leela, divine play. Money should be a play. It should be a game, but you have made it a religion. You have become so serious about it. Long faces, furrowed brows, sleepless nights. Why? It is just paper. It is just numbers. It is just a tool for exchange. If you can laugh at your money, you are free of it, and the moment you are free of it, it starts serving you. If you are ready to stop being a security guard and start being a player, type "life is a game" in the comments. Let this be your reminder to lighten up, and if you are enjoying this game we are playing together, do not forget to like and subscribe. It is part of the play. Serious people are always poor. Even if they have millions, they are poor because they cannot dance. And abundance is a dance. Look at a child playing with seashells on the beach. He collects them, he arranges them, he counts them. He is totally absorbed, he is rich in that moment. But when evening comes and his mother calls him, he drops the shells and runs home. He does not cry, he does not carry the shells in his pocket. He knows it was just a game. Be like that child. Earn money, create wealth, build empires, but when the call comes, be ready to drop it all and run home to your inner silence. Do not carry the shells. When you have this playfulness, money loses its power to corrupt you. It becomes innocent. And now, a warning about comparison. The greatest thief of your abundance is not the tax collector. It is your eye looking at your neighbor. You are happy with your bicycle until you see your neighbor's car. Suddenly your bicycle becomes a symbol of poverty. Why? The bicycle is the same. It still takes you where you want to go. The wind is still on your face, but comparison has entered, and comparison is a poison. It turns your gold into dust. You are not poor, you are just jealous. And jealousy creates a vibration of I am less. And remember the law, the universe agrees with you. If you say I am less, the universe says, so be it. Stop looking sideways. Look inward. In your inner world, are you less than anyone? Is your silence less than the silence of a king? Is your breath less valuable? Is your love less divine? No, in the inner world there is no hierarchy. Everyone is an emperor. When you reclaim this inner dignity, the outer world reflects it. You stop needing to prove yourself with money. And paradoxically, when you stop trying to prove yourself, money comes easily. Because now you are not grabbing it to fill a hole in your ego. You are welcoming it to celebrate your life. If you are ready to drop the poison of comparison, if you are ready to enjoy your own bicycle, your own life, your own journey, click the join button. Join a community of individuals who are looking inward, not sideways. Let us speak of celebration. Most people save money for a rainy day. They prepare for illness, for accident, for disaster. And because they prepare for it, they invite it. They are telling existence, I am expecting rain, I am expecting trouble. And existence is very obliging. It sends the rain. Change your psychology. Save money for a sunny day. Save money for a celebration. Save money to share, to dance, to create beauty. Tell existence, I am gathering energy so I can explode in joy. and existence will send you more energy. I suggest you do something radical. Take a small amount of money today, it does not matter how much, and spend it on something purely beautiful, not useful, not practical, beautiful. Buy a flower, buy a painting, buy a delicious meal for a stranger. Break the pattern of utility, break the pattern of survival. When you spend on beauty, you are telling the universe, I am not just surviving, I am living, and life loves the living. This small act creates a ripple. It changes your frequency from miser to lover. The miser creates a dam, the lover creates a river. And as we speak of rivers, let us remember the source. You think money comes from your boss, from your clients, from the market? No, those are just the pipes. The water comes from the source, and the source is existence itself. When you worry about the pipes, you forget the source. The boss may fire you, the market may crash, the pipes may break, but the source never dries up. If one pipe breaks, the water will find another pipe. It has to flow. Why are you so attached to the pipe? Connect with the water. When you trust the source, you are never unemployed. How can you be unemployed? You are employed by existence to be you. You are employed by the sun to breathe. You are employed by the earth to walk. Your real job is to be aware, and the salary is life itself. When you understand this, the fear of poverty vanishes, and in that fearlessness, you become capable of great things. You become capable of taking the leap. If you are ready to trust the source over the pipes, if you are ready to see the ocean behind the tap, consider using the super thanks button. It is a gesture of recognizing the source of wisdom flowing here. Now, I want to touch upon guilt. Many of you, especially those with good hearts, feel guilty about wanting money. You see the poverty in the world and you think, how can I be rich when so many are poor? This is a beautiful sensitivity, but it is a wrong conclusion. Your becoming poor will not help the poor, it will just add one more poor person to the world. You cannot help a drowning man if you jump in and drown with him. You must stand on the shore, strong, and throw a rope. Become rich, become abundant, and then use your abundance to change the consciousness of the world. Money is power. Why leave this power in the hands of unconscious people? Why leave money only for the politicians, the warmongers, the exploiters? If good people, meditative people, loving people reject money, then the world will be run by the loveless, and that is exactly what has happened. I say to you, claim the money, purify it, make it a vehicle for love, make it a tool for meditation, build schools, build gardens, build hospitals, build temples of silence. Do not reject power, transform it. If you agree that wealth should be in the hands of the conscious, write conscious wealth in the comments. Let us reclaim this energy for the divine. This is a revolution, not a revolution of guns, but a revolution of consciousness. And you are the revolutionary. But a revolutionary needs energy. He needs rest. He needs the pause. In music, the silence between the notes is as important as the notes themselves. Without the silence, it is just noise. In your pursuit of wealth, do you have silence? Do you have pauses? If you are working 24 hours a day, you are not efficient. You are just busy. And busyness is a drug. It keeps you from facing yourself. The rich man knows how to pause. He knows that in the pause the idea comes. In the pause the solution arises. In the pause the energy replenishes. I invite you to practice the sacred pause. Every hour, stop for 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Close your eyes. Drop everything. Go inward. Touch your center and then come back. This 1 minute will rejuvenate you more than an hour of sleep. It will reconnect you with the source. And when you work from that connection, your work becomes worship. Your work becomes poetry. Do not be a machine. Machines can produce, but they cannot create. And wealth comes from creation. Be a creator. As we move deeper into this understanding, I want to remind you that this is not just a lecture. This is a transmission. I am not just giving you words, I am giving you a key. But the key is useless if you do not turn it. How to turn it? By living it, by taking the risk, and by educating yourself. The mind needs new maps. The old maps have led you to struggle. The new maps are available. Check the books in the description. Feed your mind with the wisdom of the masters, not the noise of the news. And if you feel the value of this transmission, if you feel the key turning in the lock, express it. Share this video. Be a channel. We have spoken of the void of Layla, of trust. Now we must speak of the flow of gratitude. Gratitude is not just saying thank you after you get something. That is business. True gratitude is saying thank you before you get it. When you thank existence before the money arrives, you are proving your trust. You are saying, I know it is coming. I can feel it. I am already celebrating it. This advanced gratitude is magic. It collapses time. It brings the future into the now. Try it. Wake up tomorrow and thank existence for the abundance that is on its way. Feel the excitement of it. Dress for it. Prepare the table for the guest, and the guest will come. The guest cannot refuse such an invitation. But if you wait to see it before you believe it, you will wait a long time. Belief must come first, not blind belief, but the belief of a knower. The belief of a child who knows his mother is bringing food. He does not see the food, but he hears her footsteps. Can you hear the footsteps of abundance? Listen, the universe is moving toward you. It wants to give. If you can hear the footsteps, if you are preparing the table, verify your subscription. Make sure you are part of this energy field. Subscribe and turn on the bell. Do not miss the knock on the door. We are now preparing to enter the realm of the invisible, the subtle laws that govern the visible world. You see the tree, but you do not see the roots. You see the money, but you do not see the energy that created it. We will now go into the roots, into the dark, rich soil where all creation begins. If you are ready to get your hands into the soil, if you are ready to understand the alchemy of the invisible, stay with me. The journey continues. You see the tree, but you do not see the roots. You see the money, but you do not see the energy that created it. You are obsessed with the fruits, the bank balance, the house, the car, but you have forgotten the soil. And I say to you, if you take care of the roots, the fruits will take care of themselves. But if you neglect the roots and only polish the fruits, the tree will die. What are the roots of wealth? The roots are your invisible connection to existence. They are your trust, your creativity, your silence, your joy. These things cannot be seen, cannot be photographed, cannot be deposited in a bank. But without them, the visible wealth is dead. It is plastic fruit. It looks real, but it has no juice, no nourishment. You have been trying to paint the leaves green. You have been trying to force the fruit to grow by pulling on the branches, and you are exhausted. Stop working on the surface. Go underground. In the dark, rich soil of your being, there is a seed waiting. That seed is your potential. That seed is your destiny. When you water that seed with meditation, with awareness, it begins to sprout. You do not need to pull it up. You do not need to shout at it. You only need to nourish it. And how do you nourish the roots? By being happy, by being grateful now. Happiness is the water. Gratitude is the sunlight. If you are miserable while you work, you are poisoning the roots, and poisoned roots produce bitter fruit. This is why even when miserable people become rich, their wealth tastes bitter. It does not bring them freedom. It brings them only more worry. I want you to have sweet fruit. I want your wealth to be a celebration, not a compensation for your misery. If you are ready to water your roots with joy, type "I nourish my roots" in the comments. Let this be your commitment to the invisible work. And remember, this channel is a garden. We are growing consciousness here. If you want to help this garden grow, subscribe and share. When you share the water, your own well refills. Now let us understand the law of circulation. I have told you money is like blood. It is a current. It is currency. It has to flow. If you stop the blood in your body, what happens? Do you become healthier? Do you become stronger? No. You get a heart attack. You die. The blood must move to keep you alive. But with money you do the opposite. You try to stop the flow. You try to build a dam. You grab it and you hold it tight. You are creating a spiritual heart attack. The miser is a dying man. He is congested. His energy is stuck. You must learn the art of circulation. When money comes to you, receive it with gratitude, and then let it go with gratitude. Do not hold it. Let it move. Buy things, create things, help people, invest in beauty. When you let it go, you create a vacuum. And nature abhors a vacuum. The moment you empty your hand, existence rushes to fill it again. This is the secret physics of wealth. To get, you must empty. To receive, you must give. Imagine a cup that is full of stale tea. You are asking for fresh tea, but your cup is full. How can existence pour fresh tea into it? It will spill over. You must throw away the stale tea. You must empty the cup. Are you brave enough to be empty? Most people are terrified of emptiness. They fill their lives with noise, with clutter, with unnecessary things, just to avoid feeling the space. But it is in the space that the new enters. If you are holding on to old grudges, old fears, old money that you are too afraid to spend, let it go. Clean your house, clean your mind, make space for the guest. If you are ready to empty your cup, if you are ready to trust the vacuum, click the like button. Let it be a symbol of emptying your appreciation into the world. And consider, if you have been holding onto abundance, release a small part of it now through super thanks. Test the law. See how it feels to give without fear. Let me tell you the story of the monkey and the jar. Hunters catch monkeys in a very simple way. They take a jar with a narrow neck and they put a handful of nuts or rice inside. The monkey comes, smells the food, and puts his hand inside the jar. He grabs a handful of nuts, but now his fist is big. He cannot pull it out of the narrow neck. He pulls and pulls. He screams, he is trapped. But who is trapping him? The jar? No. The hunter? No. His own greed is trapping him. All he has to do is open his hand, let go of the nuts, and he is free. But he will not let go. He values the nuts more than his freedom. And so he is caught. You are that monkey. You are holding on to your ideas of security, your small treasures, your little bank account so tightly that you are trapped. You are a prisoner of your own fist. I say to you, open your hand, drop the nuts. Freedom is worth more than nuts. And the miracle is, the moment you are free, the whole forest belongs to you. You were fighting for a handful while the whole existence was waiting to be yours. The open hand is the symbol of the wealthy man. The clenched fist is the symbol of the beggar. Even if the beggar has gold in his fist, he is still a beggar because he is afraid. Even if the rich man has nothing in his open hand, he is an emperor because he is available. Be available. If you understand the trap of the monkey, write in the comments, I open my hand. Do not just write it, do it. Physically open your hands right now. Feel the relaxation in your fingers. That relaxation is the frequency of money. Now, let us speak of the dignity of labor. There is a misunderstanding that spiritual people should not work, or that rich people do not work. The rich man works harder than the poor man, but his work is different. It is not labor, it is play. When you do something you hate just for money, you are selling your soul. You are a prostitute. It does not matter if you are a CEO or a cleaner. If you are doing it only for the money and you hate the act, you are selling your life. And life cannot be sold, it is too precious. Find work that is an extension of your love. Khalil Gibran has said, work is love made visible. This is one of the greatest truths ever spoken. When you bake bread with love, the bread satisfies not just the hunger of the body, but the hunger of the soul. When you build a house with love, the house becomes a home. And when you work with love, money follows you like a shadow. You do not have to ask for it. The world is starving for love. The world is starving for quality. The world is starving for things made with heart. If you can provide that, the world will pour its wealth at your feet. But you are busy cutting corners. You are busy doing the minimum. You are busy watching the clock. When will it be 5 o'clock? The man who watches the clock will never be rich because he is not in the work. He is escaping the work. Be lost in your work. Be so absorbed that you forget time. Be so absorbed that you forget you. In that forgetfulness, you become a channel. The divine energy flows through you into your work, and that work becomes a masterpiece. Are you creating masterpieces, or are you just making noise? If you are ready to turn your work into love made visible, if you are ready to stop selling your time and start sharing your soul, consider joining our community by clicking the join button. Let us support each other in this transformation of labor into love. And now, the mirror of relationships. Money is a relationship, just like your relationship with your wife, your husband, your friend. If you are possessive of your wife, if you are jealous, if you are always checking her phone, always asking where she is, what will happen, she will want to leave, your fear will suffocate her. It is the same with money. If you are possessive, if you are constantly checking the balance, constantly afraid it will leave, it will want to leave, you are suffocating the energy. Love gives freedom. If you love money, and there is nothing wrong with loving money as a tool, give it freedom. Let it go. Trust that if it is yours, it will return. And if it does not return, then it was never yours. Let it go. This detachment makes you attractive. Have you seen how people are attracted to someone who is independent, who is happy in themselves. Everyone wants to be with that person, but no one wants to be with the beggar who is clinging and crying, "Don't leave me." Stop saying to money, "Don't leave me." Say to money, "Go, play, have fun, circulate, and come back when you are ready. I am here, I am happy with you, I am happy without you." This is the ultimate seduction. Money cannot resist such a person. If you are ready to stop suffocating your wealth, if you are ready to give it the freedom to grow, type "freedom is wealth" in the comments. And do not forget, the more you share this video, the more you practice this freedom. You are giving this wisdom away freely, and because you give it freely, it will return to you as insight, as clarity, as abundance. We have spoken of the roots, the circulation, the monkey trap, and the relationship. Now we must touch on the illusion of more. The mind always says more. If you have 1 million, the mind says 2 millions. If you have a palace, the mind says, "I need a bigger palace." This more is a disease. It is cancer. Cancer is simply a cell that does not know when to stop growing. It wants more and more and more until it kills the host. Do not be a cancer on this earth. Learn the beauty of enough. Enough is a very subjective word. For one man, a small hut is enough. For another, a kingdom is not enough. I am not telling you how much is enough. You have to find your own point of balance. But I tell you this, if you cannot enjoy what you have now, you will not enjoy what you have later. The enjoyment capacity is the real wealth. You have a car. Do you enjoy it? Or are you just using it to get to the office to earn money for a better car? If you don't enjoy the current car, the new car will give you happiness for maybe 2 days. And then the mind will say, "More, stop the race. Get off the treadmill. Sit in your car today and really feel it. Be grateful for it. It is a miracle, a machine that moves. Sit in your house and really feel it. It protects you from the rain, from the cold. It is a temple. When you start enjoying the enough, the more comes without the disease. It comes as an expansion of your joy, not as a filling of your hole. If you can find one thing in your life right now that is enough, you are rich. Take a deep breath, feel the air filling your lungs. Is it enough, or do you need more air than your lungs can hold? No, it is exactly enough. Existence is precise. Trust this precision. As we move to the next part of this journey, I want to speak to you about the alchemy of transformation. How to turn the base metal of your fear into the gold of trust. This is the real work, the inner chemistry. If you are ready to enter the laboratory of your own soul, stay with me. Verify your subscription. Check the bell icon. Ensure you are notified when the next transmission begins. And if you feel a debt of gratitude for these insights, the super thanks button is the way to balance the energy. The journey is deep. The path is narrow. But you are not walking alone. Let us continue. And how does this alchemy happen? How do you turn the heavy lead of your anxiety into the golden light of trust? It happens through fire. You must be willing to burn. You must be willing to let your old identity, your old smallness, your old poor me story be consumed by the fire of awareness. Most people want the gold, but they are afraid of the fire. They want the resurrection, but they are afraid of the crucifixion. But I say to you, without the cross there is no crown. The fire I am speaking of is the fire of risk. You have been taught to play it safe. Don't take chances, keep your money under the mattress, get a secure job, retire. This is the advice of the dead to the living. Life is a risk, every breath is a risk. You inhale, but there is no guarantee you will exhale. You wake up, but there is no guarantee you will sleep again. If you try to eliminate risk, you eliminate life. The wealthy man is a gambler, not a foolish gambler who throws his life away on a dice game, but a spiritual gambler who bets on himself, who bets on his intuition, who bets on the unknown. When you take a risk, whether it is starting a business, leaving a dead job, or investing in a dream, you become alive. Your senses sharpen, your intelligence wakes up. In safety you sleep, in danger you awake, and money loves the awake ones. Why do you think entrepreneurs are often rich? Not because they are smarter than you, but because they are more awake than you. They are living on the edge, and on the edge the view is better. If you are asleep in your comfort zone, you will never see the opportunity. The opportunity always knocks on the door of the one who is ready to step out. I invite you to step out. If you are ready to leave the comfort zone and enter the wealth zone, type "I choose risk" in the comments. Let this declaration burn your old bridges. And if you feel the fire of this truth warming you, do not just warm your hands, add wood to the fire, subscribe and share. Let the fire spread. Now, let us speak of the golden mean. Buddha called his path the middle way. This applies to money perfectly. There are two extremes. One is the miser who hoards everything and enjoys nothing. He is constipated. The other is the spendthrift who throws everything away and has no roots. He is diarrhea. Both are sick. The healthy man is in the middle. He is a river. He has banks, discipline to guide the water, but he has flow, generosity to keep the water moving. You need both. You need the discipline to save, to invest, to respect the energy, and you need the freedom to spend, to share, to enjoy the energy. If you only save, you become a cemetery. If you only spend, you become a desert. Be a garden. A garden saves the water in its roots, but it spends the water in its flowers. This balance is what I call Zorba the Buddha. Zorba the Greek represents the earth, wine, dance, food, money, love. Buddha represents the sky, silence, meditation, awareness, emptiness. I want you to be both. Why be poor in the market and rich in the temple? Be rich in both. Use your money to create a paradise on earth, and use your meditation to create a paradise within. There is no conflict. The conflict is only in your mind. If you are ready to embrace this totality, this wholeness, consider joining the inner circle by clicking join. We are a community of Zorbas and Buddhas. And now a story about sharpness. Two woodcutters were in the forest. One worked for 8 hours without stopping. He was sweating, he was panting, he was hitting the tree with all his might. The other woodcutter worked for 50 minutes, then rested for 10 minutes. He sat under a tree, closed his eyes, and sharpened his axe. At the end of the day, the second woodcutter had cut twice as much wood. The first man was angry. I worked harder than you. I never stopped. How did you beat me? The second man smiled and said, while you were hitting the tree with a dull axe, I was sharpening mine. Your mind is the axe. Most of you are hitting the tree of life with a dull mind. You are tired, you are stressed, you are full of noise, and you wonder why you are not rich. You are working hard, but you are not working smart. Meditation is the sharpening stone. When you sit in silence, when you pause You are sharpening your intelligence. You are removing the rust of worry. You are honing the edge of your perception. A sharp mind can see in 1 second what a dull mind cannot see in 10 years. A sharp mind cuts through the problem and finds the solution. And the world pays for solutions, not for sweat. Do not be proud of your sweat. Be proud of your sharpness. If you want to sharpen your axe, if you want to learn the techniques of honing your consciousness, check the books and meditation tools in the description. Do not go into the forest with a dull blade. Now, let us discuss the energy of debt. Debt is a heavy stone around your neck. It drags you into the past. Every time you owe money, a part of your energy is stuck with the person you owe. You are not free. I am not against borrowing if it is for growth, if it is an investment, but if you are borrowing for consumption, to buy things you do not need to impress people you do not like, you are enslaving yourself. You are eating your future today, and when the future comes, you will be hungry. Clear your debts. Make it a spiritual practice. I will become free. Every dollar you pay back is a chain you break. Feel the lightness of it. Even if you have to live simply, live simply. Freedom is better than a golden cage. When you are debt-free, your energy is yours. It is 100% available for the now. And when your energy is available, it can create miracles. And there is another kind of debt, karmic debt. You owe gratitude to your parents, to your teachers, to existence. You cannot pay this back with money. You can only pay it back with love, with respect, with sharing. When you are generous, you are paying your karmic debts. You are balancing the books of the universe. And when the books are balanced, the universe opens a new account for you, an account of unlimited credit. If you are ready to balance your books, if you are ready to clear the slate, use the super thanks button as a symbolic gesture. It is not the amount, it is the intention. I am clearing the way. Now let us go deeper into the magnetism of authenticity. You are trying to be someone else because you think that someone else makes money. You see a rich man and you copy his style, his walk, his business. But copies are always cheap. Existence never repeats itself. There has never been another you, and there will never be another you. Your fingerprint is unique. Your soul print is unique. Your wealth is hidden in your uniqueness. If you try to be a second-hand Ford, you will get the price of a second-hand Ford. But if you dare to be a Rolls-Royce, even a small one, you are valuable. What is it that only you can do? What is it that comes naturally to you like breathing? That is your gold mine. Maybe you are a good listener. Do you know how rare listening is? People will pay fortunes just to be heard. Maybe you have a way with colors. Maybe you have a way with animals. Maybe you have a chaotic, wild imagination. Do not judge it. Do not say, oh, this is not a business. Anything is a business if you pour your love into it. Stop trying to fit into the mold of the market. Break the mold. Create your own niche. The market is crowded on the highway, but the path of authenticity is empty. There is no traffic there. You can run as fast as you want. If you are ready to leave the crowded highway and find your own path, type I am unique in the comments. Own it. And as you own it, you will feel a shift. The desperation leaves. The dignity returns. Finally, for this part, let us speak of the silent partner. In every business, in every venture, in every life, there is a silent partner. You may call it God or existence or the universe or the Tao, If you ignore this partner, you will fail. You may succeed for a while, but it will collapse because you are trying to do it alone and you are too small. Acknowledge the partner. Before you start your work, bow down. This is our business. You guide me. When the profit comes, share it. Give a percentage to the partner. How? By giving to the poor, to the animals, to nature, to beauty. When you make God your partner, your business becomes divine. And who can compete with a divine business? It becomes invincible. The problems that used to crush you now become challenges to help you grow. The losses become lessons. The gains become blessings. You are no longer carrying the burden alone. You have the ultimate support. Are you ready to sign the partnership deed? Are you ready to say, okay, existence, from today, 50% is yours. You handle the stress, I will handle the work. You handle the outcome, I will handle the action. This is the ultimate deal. If you are ready to sign, verify your subscription. Let this channel be the witness to your contract. And now we prepare for the final ascent. We have cleared the debts, sharpened the axe, accepted the risk and found the partner. Now we must learn the final secret, the secret of becoming the goal. Most of you are chasing the goal. I will teach you how to be the goal. When you are the goal, everything comes to you. The river does not chase the ocean. The river runs, yes, but the ocean waits, and the river must fall into it. Be the ocean, stay tuned. The water is rising. The water is rising, and when the water rises, it does not ask for permission. It simply floods. This flood is what I call enlightenment. It is the moment you realize that you are not separate from the ocean. You are the ocean. You have been running around with a small bucket begging for drops while you were standing in the middle of the sea. This is the cosmic joke, and when you get it, you will laugh. A belly laugh that shakes the very foundations of your poverty. You are the goal. Stop chasing the goal. Be the goal. The musk deer runs through the forest, mad with desire, searching for the source of a beautiful scent. He runs until he dies of exhaustion. He never realizes that the scent was coming from his own belly. You are the musk deer, the fragrance of wealth, of love, of joy. It is coming from your own being. But you are running so fast that you cannot smell yourself. Stop running. Sit down. Smell your own fragrance. When you stop running, the world stops running away from you. It turns around and looks at you. It becomes curious. Who is this man who is not chasing me? Who is this woman who is so complete? And then the world comes to you. Not because you forced it, but because you fascinated it. This fascination is your true power. Be fascinating, be a mystery, be a celebration. Do not be a beggar with a begging bowl. Be a king with a chalice. And remember, a king is not defined by his treasury. He is defined by his posture. He is defined by his walk. He is defined by his lack of hurry. Walk like a king. Even if you are walking to the bus stop, walk as if the bus is your royal chariot. Drink your tea as if it is the nectar of the gods. When you treat the ordinary as divine, the ordinary transforms, it becomes gold. This is the Midas touch I promised you. It is not magic, it is awareness. If you are ready to stop being the musk deer and start being the fragrance, type I am the source in the comments. Let this be your final declaration of independence from the tyranny of seeking. And as you type it, feel the shift. The center of gravity moves from the object to the subject. from the money to the consciousness. Now let us speak of the final let go. You have learned to trust. You have learned to give. You have learned to risk. Now, you must learn to disappear. Yes, disappear. When the dancer disappears, only the dance remains. When the singer disappears, only the song remains. When the seeker of wealth disappears, only the wealth remains. As long as there is an I who wants to be rich, there will be poverty, because the I is the barrier, the I is the wall, the I is always comparing, always judging, always afraid. Dissolve the I. How? By total absorption in the moment. When you are totally in the moment, there is no I. There is just pure experiencing. There is just pure flow. And in that flow, you are one with existence. And existence is infinite. You cannot possess the infinite. You can only be the infinite. Do not try to own the moon. Be the sky that holds the moon. This is the ultimate secret. The secret that the masters have whispered for thousands of years. You are not poor. You are just asleep. Wake up. The morning has come. The sun is high. The birds are singing. Why are you still lying in the bed of your old conditioning? Throw off the blanket of fear. Stand up. You have a destiny to fulfill. You have a song to sing. You have a love to share. And yes, you have wealth to create. But create it as a creator, not as a slave. Create it because it is fun. Create it because it is beautiful. Create it because you can. And when it comes, and I promise you it will come, do not hold it. Let it pass through you like a wind. Let it bless you and let it bless others. Be a hollow bamboo, let the existence sing its song through you. If the song is about money, let it be about money. If the song is about silence, let it be about silence. Do not choose, let the flutist choose. You just be the bamboo. And now, my friends, my fellow travelers, we have reached the end of words. Words are only a bridge. Now you must walk across. Do not stay on the bridge. The bridge is not the destination. The destination is your own inner being. I have given you the map. I have given you the key. I have pointed the way. Now you must walk, but you do not walk alone. We are walking together. This Sangha, this community is walking with you. Feel the energy of thousands of others who are watching this, who are reading this, who are feeling this. You are part of a great wave of awakening. Ride the wave. And as you ride, do not forget to support the wave. Subscribe to this channel. It is your home for truth. Join the inner circle. It is your family of spirit. Share this video. It is your gift to the blind world. And if your heart is overflowing, use the super thanks. It is your flower on the altar of wisdom. Check the books in the description. They are the footprints I have left for you. Follow them. Now close your eyes for a moment, just for a second. Take a deep breath. Inhale the abundance of the universe. Exhale the scarcity of the mind. Inhale trust. Exhale fear. You are ready. You have always been ready. Go now. The world is waiting for you. The treasure is waiting for you. But remember, the greatest treasure is the one who is looking for it. Be that treasure. I love you, I bless you, and I invite you to be rich in all dimensions. Be Zorba, be Buddha, be yourself. Goodbye, and hello to your new life.